Hi everyone. Good morning. Okay, I am live. Hi everyone on Facebook and YouTube. So today I'll be sharing on the topic of my mom's suicide, what I learned through that experience. And it's part of the NHR series that I started a couple of weeks ago. For those of you who are on Facebook, I will be just streaming this for a couple of minutes, but if you wish to continue listening to what I want to share, then continue to join me on YouTube. Okay, I shall begin because you guys can just scroll back to the start. So I guess let me just give a bit more context about my mom before I share about her suicide. So my mom was battling depression for a very long time. My mom was battling depression for at least probably 30 years. Yeah. She may not have been diagnosed with depression that early, but she has been battling depression for the longest time. Yeah. So in fact, I'm turning 31 this year. So she has been battling depression basically before I was even born. Yeah, I believe. So it's been a very long time, and depression has always been her inner demon, has always been a struggle that she has to wage. I remember because for those of you who are not aware, so I was raised by my grandparents, and my mom used to visit us during the holidays or maybe a couple of times a year, 2-3 times a year. So there was one time I remember my mom came to visit, and she was just chatting with my aunt, or I think it was my aunt. She was chatting with my aunt, and she was sharing with her about her depression. And that was the first time I heard about my mom's depression. So that was when I was in primary school. I was about maybe 8-9 years old. So yeah, she was battling depression for a good over 30 years. For those of you who have experienced depression, or for those of you who have someone close to you who was going through depression, you would understand. I guess you can relate to what I'm going to share about depression, right? Depression is sometimes very difficult to recognize, especially if you are the person who experienced depression. It's like a shadow and overcast that just consume you unknowingly, subconsciously. So it affects your life, it affects your decision making. It clouds your whole entire being, really. So what happened was that before I was born, my mom started chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And through chanting, she was able to overcome several obstacles in her life. For example, she used to have financial difficulties, so that helped her to tide through. And because my mom and us as in her kids, we do not live together. And back then, my grandparents were taking care of us, and they were not very fond of her. So to visit us is actually a problem. And so I believe that chanting also enabled us to form this bond, this very powerful bond that transcends the amount of time that you spend with each other. Because to be honest, it's it's really easy for kids to feel distant from their parents, especially when you grow up not being around the parents. You grow up surrounded by your aunts and your grandparents. And to be honest, my late grandparents, they used to say unpleasant things about my parents, about my mom. So the kind of information that used to feed me would not naturally form a bond between me and my mom. So I profoundly believe that it was the chanting that my mom did that enabled and established this very profound bond between us and her. That even though we spend so little time with her, we've got so little interaction with her, but we still feel very close to her. And my mom, even though she was chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, my mom actually was not a very diligent Buddhist, to be honest. She's very cute. So if you are aware, we do a lot of chanting. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. That's our daily practice. So my mom would maybe chant for 5 seconds. And then she would have a silent prayer. She would have a prayer. And her prayer would be much, much, much longer than her chanting. It's so cute. Yeah. So we always joke and tease her that, so cute. How can you have a longer prayer, as in have a longer wish list than the amount of chanting that you do? But that was my mom. Yeah, she wasn't the most diligent Buddhist, and eventually she I remember one evening her brother came over and was sick and tired of my mom having depression, and in fact my mom was also diagnosed with schizophrenia. So my uncle, his elder brother, was sick and tired of her being depressed and having all these mental conditions. And the way that he perceived it, he's from another religion, and the way that he perceived it was that there was a demon in my mom's body. He said that there's a demon in her. He used a Bible and placed it upon her. It reminds me of Trump. So he forced her to discard the Buddhist practice. He forced her to go to church, thinking that it would cast away the demon in her and cure her depression and schizophrenia. At that time, I was about 22 years old. To be honest, so as I was sharing, we do not have much time. I do not spend much time with my mom. I live with my grandparents and my aunt. So to me, I feel that it's not fair for me to decide how my mom lived her life. And so I did not object, because to me, the way that I perceive it is that, okay, finally someone is willing to spend time with her. So I perceive it that an older brother is finally, taking time to take care of the younger sister, my mom. Doesn't matter what he do with her, where he bring her to or brought her to, for that matter. So flash forward a couple of years later, it's been, I guess, about 8 years or 7 years since she went to church. And yeah, that fateful day, my mom committed suicide. So I guess why I want to share this is because I learned a lot of things that enabled me to cope with my mom's sudden passing. And it enabled me to understand life, actually. So for one, I understood about religion. So number one, I understood profoundly that it's not about the religion, really. You can claim that your religion can cure, but it's really the person. Because if the person does not practice diligently, does not practice correctly, then no matter what religion you go to, no God, no power can cure you. Yeah. I mean, I understand very clearly, but if you want me to be very blunt, if going to church really killed my mom, then she wouldn't have killed herself. That is the reality. Yeah. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, I will be ending this session. Join me on YouTube so that I can continue. See you on YouTube. Bye. Give me a couple of seconds. Yeah, because I don't want to like multi-stream. I just want to do it on YouTube. Just one platform will do. Okay, so when my mom passed away due to suicide, a couple of understanding actually enabled me to cope. I feel that it's very important to understand life and death, so that we can cope with life and death. Number one is death. Let's say. So when my mom passed away, the immediate understanding that I have is what happens after death. So maybe I can ask you guys, what do you guys think, or what do you think will happen to a person when he or she passes away? Whatever your religion is, think about it. What do you think happens to a person when he or she passes away? A very common notion pervading in society is that this person goes to somewhere else. Could be a better place, could be a worse place. And because my mom was a Christian when she passed away, or rather, her funeral, her proceedings were done in a Christian way. So quite naturally, people in that community would say that, or think and perceive that she went to heaven. So my question is, if a person goes to heaven or hell when they pass away, especially for my mom's case, it's very clear because my mom killed herself. So if a person kills himself or herself and goes to heaven, then my question would be, what's the purpose of life? I mean, we're all alive right here. We can all think. So my next question to you is, why are we alive? Why are we on this earth? And again, a very pervasive concept is that, so that we can go to somewhere, a better place, heaven. If you don't, you go to hell. So if the purpose of life is to go to somewhere, and if by killing ourselves we can go to heaven, then my question to those people is, why are we still here? Why don't we join them? If it's so easy to go to heaven, or rather, if there is a heaven to begin with. The way that I look at it, the question of life and death is very important. It really influences our way of life. I feel that so many people have double standards about this question on life and death. So the way that I perceive life and death is as such. It's really very closely related to my Buddhist practice. It's about what I learned from the SGI. So number one, about death, about life and death. So we have to understand, or rather, my understanding of life and death is that life itself is continuous. Life is a form of energy, and when you pass away, the energy continues. It's very similar to the concept of science, where energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So energy, when we are alive, it takes on this life form. But when we die, energy continues because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So when our human life dies or ends, energy continues. And in Buddhism, we talk about living and death as being awake and being asleep. So when you are alive, you are being awake. But when you die, you are asleep. So your life, your energy goes into the cosmic pool, and your life would reincarnate, and then your life will continue in another life form. And this concept of life and death, to me, is very complete, is very comprehensive, because it also enables me to understand life. So about understanding life, so I was raised a Catholic, and I used to question about why I was born with my circumstances, why I was not born in a happier family, why I wasn't born with more money, why I wasn't born, with basically a happier life situation. That was my questions when I was younger. But Buddhism really answered my questions, because I understood that that life is eternal, and because and especially the concept of karma really enabled me to understand my life. So when I was younger, the reason why I had all those questions, like why was I born like this, why was I born here, those questions stem from the teaching that I was inculcated with. So as a Catholic, I was inculcated with the belief that a God created me, that a God created us. We're all equal. So my question was, if God created me, then why did God create me this way? Why did he not create me another way? Why didn't he create me in another family, a happier family, taller, more handsome, whatever? If God really created me, then why? Why me? Why here? Why so many whys? So the concept of God really really screwed up my life for a very, very long time, because the concept because the concept haunted me, and I just could not get out of it. I just could not understand my life until I was introduced to Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism, and the concept of karma really empowered me. So what is this concept of karma? So in Buddhism, as I was sharing earlier, life is continuous. So to put it in a very simple manner, okay, so I was born in my circumstances not because someone decided my life to be this way. No one, no God decided my life for me. I was this way because of my past life, because there's a past life, and there are numerous past lives, because in Buddhism, there's the continuity of life. And so that enabled me to understand that, okay, so I was born with my circumstances because of my past life. But that wasn't satisfying enough, right? But the concept of karma is very complete. So if you want to understand your present life, okay, or rather, if you want to understand your past, if you want to understand the infinite past, then look at your present, because karma is basically the law of cause and effect. Cause and effect. So right now, my life is an effect of the causes of the past. So I may not understand the past, but the present is very clear, all right? Because the present is basically the fruition, the result of the past causes. But a more important concept of karma is really the future and the present, because cause and effect, right? So as much as I couldn't really fathom or understand my past because it's so infinite, and I cannot change my past either, but karma teaches about cause and effect. So the causes that you take right now will manifest in your future. So that is very powerful to me, the law of cause and effect, the law of karma, because while I may not be able to change what happened to me, or I may not be able to change my past, I really want to have a happier tomorrow. I really want to be happy. I really want to have a happy life. I really want to have a happier tomorrow, happier next year, happier 5, 10, 20 years down the road. And I believe that you watching, no matter what your religion is, no matter what you believe, you will agree with me, right? I mean, all of us want a happier tomorrow. All of us want a happier life, no matter how painful, unhappy our past was. So in Buddhism, the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, empowered me to understand that, okay, so I have to focus on the present. I have to focus on this life that I have. Fine, I'm not born with the most ideal circumstances, but that is the past. There's really no point. It's really pointless, meaningless to dwell on the past that you can't change. What's more important, what you can change, is your present and your future. So that really inspired me, that really encouraged me to take full responsibility for my life. I began to work very hard. I stopped questioning. I stopped hoping for someone else, some God or some external power to change my life for me. I had a total transformation in the way that I view my life, that I am responsible for my life because I want to be happy, right? I want to be happy. And so in order to be happy, I have to create happiness. I have to sow, nourish, and water the seeds of happiness. As, and that really enabled me to cope with my mom's passing, because I realized that I can't change the fact that my mom lived the way that she did, or decided to end her life the way she did. My mom was not happy, obviously, being alive. She had depression. She had schizophrenia. She had love issues, trust issues with her husband. So I can't decide for her how to live her life, but I understand that her life will continue, and what I can do for her is basically how I live my life. Because I mean, I truly feel that my mom, when she passed away, however she passed away, she would want me to live a happy life. She would want me to continue living. She would want me to continue living strongly and happily. So that really reminded me that my mom may have passed away. My mom may have killed herself, but I have a very important role. I have to live. I have to continue living. I have to continue living strongly, positively, and happily. Yeah. So I shared earlier about life and death, and one topic that I feel is very important is the purpose of life. I guess I can throw it to you as well. You watching, what do you think is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of you living? Why are you alive? So if you think that, the way that I see it, I'm alive not because I want to go to somewhere else. I'm alive not because I want to go to heaven, or so that I can die and go to some better place. No, I am alive because being alive is the most precious thing. Being alive is the most wonderful thing in the universe. I may not know what happens after death. I may not know of a heaven or hell, but trust me, being alive is the most beautiful thing that can happen to anyone. You may be suffering, you may be in pain, you may have cancer, you may um, be crippled and paralyzed. You may have your own fair share of unique challenges, but being alive itself is the most wonderful thing. It's not going to heaven that's wonderful. I mean, if going to heaven is the best thing, then why wait? Why not do it now, right? Because being alive is better than going anywhere. Being alive is better than going to heaven. That is a fact that people refuse to admit to themselves, that being alive is the best thing. So the purpose of being alive is, the way that I see it, to be happy. I am alive because I want to be happy. I may not be happy right now, I may be struggling, but the goal, the objective of life is to be happy. So what is happiness? What is the meaning of being happy? Is happiness a life that is devoid of suffering? Is happiness a life where, it's a bed of roses, it's a stroll in a park, you've got so much money, you've got, all the love in the world, you've got amazing friends, you've got a big house, you've got wonderful life, you've got no problems, no sickness, everything pink and unicorn and rainbow and butterflies. Is that happiness? I don't think so. That is unrealistic and that is unpractical. That's not life. Happiness is not a life where you do not have problems. Happiness is a life with problem, with challenges, with pain, with misery. So I feel that happiness is a life condition. Happiness is a strength of character. In Buddhism, we call it life condition. We call it life force. So as a Buddhist, for all of you who may have Buddhist friends, you will notice that their life is not blessed. Their life is not perfect. They've got so much problems, so much challenges, but yet they have this indomitable, undefeated spirit. Now that spirit, that indomitable spirit, that undefeatable spirit, now that is happiness. The strength to continue living, to overcome, to fight your challenges head on. Now that to me is happiness. Happiness is, to give you an analogy, it's a person who climbs the mountain. Now, life is like a mountain, the hills, the difficulty. The mountains will always get steeper, higher, harder to climb. So life does not get easier, but you become stronger. You train yourself, you become stronger so that you can climb and overcome that mountain. And that mountain is your life of challenges, your life of struggles. So the way that I see it is that my life will be full of challenges. My life will be full of pain, and from some and especially if someone who does not understand life, they will look at you and say, "Oh, Ivan, you've got job problem, you've got health problem, you've got this problem, that problem. Your religion is not working. You should convert, go to church, or go somewhere. Let a God heal you. Let God help you." Really? I mean, data have it, statistics have it. In fact, based on the USA alone, more than 90% of Americans, in fact, if I'm not wrong, more than 90% of Americans believe in God. So if going to church, if believing in God would cure you and give you a life without problems, then why is the world it is today? Why is America the state it is today? Because the thing is, it's not about your religion, it's not about God, it's about you. It is about you. It's not about the challenges you have, it's not about the problems that you have, because trust me, no matter what religion you think you have, you can be a Buddhist, you can be a Hindu, you can be a Muslim, you can be a Christian, whatever your religion is, you will have your fair share of problem. It will not stop. You will have problem until you die. So what is the point of living? What is the purpose of religion? Religion does not exist so that it can solve your problem for you. You are alive because you have to take full responsibility for your life. So Buddhism for me empowers me and gives me the courage. So basically to elaborate further. So what I do as a core part of my Buddhist practice is that I chant. I chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo every single day, and my Buddhist chanting, my Buddhist practice enables me to bring forth courage, bring forth wisdom, bring forth compassion, bring forth the life condition that I need to overcome every single challenge of my life. And in fact, while I am struggling, while I am in the process of fighting those challenges, I am happy. I am happy even though I am struggling. I'm struggling joyously. And that I feel is life. Life is to live joyously, live happily while you are struggling. So 10 years ago, before, or rather 7 years ago, when my mom was still battling depression, the fact is that, with or without Buddhist practice, my mom could and would still be challenging depression and her mental condition of schizophrenia. So being a Buddhist does not mean that she'll be cured of depression, does not mean that she will not have depression. Being a Buddhist simply means that you are equipped with the life condition, you are equipped with the tool to enable you to fight your battles. So my mom's life, her depression, her suicide really helped me to understand that it's very important to live strongly. It's very important to live happily, and it's not gonna happen for you just by going to church, just by going anywhere, going to a temple, going to a mosque. Going somewhere will not help you become happy. Life is not so easy. You have to take action. You have to live your life. You have to take full responsibility for your life. And my mom's suicide for me just emphasized that point for me. So for you watching, I'm pretty sure that you have your fair share of struggles. You have your battles to fight, and you may have a different religion than me. It's fine, because Buddhism is not be all, or it's really not. Buddhism exists for the people. Buddhism is basically a tool that serves to empower you to be happy. So if you feel that you are happy being the way you are, whether you have a religion, a faith or not, it's really okay. That's what Buddhism taught me, that I should respect everyone around me, no matter how different they are from me. And more importantly, Buddhism teaches me that I I mean, more important than looking outward and looking at other people, I have to focus on my life. And if Buddhism is so great, then I have to demonstrate the greatness of Buddhism with my life. And the way that I do it is by sharing my life struggles, my life challenges vulnerably. I believe that being vulnerable is being strong. And by sharing my struggles so publicly, um, people can relate, and people will understand that they are not alone, that you are not alone in struggling. I have my fair share of struggles every single day. Even right now, I have so many struggles, and I'm struggling happily, I'm struggling joyfully, I'm struggling with my Buddhist practice. It's a tool that empowers me to fight on every single day. And yeah, so this is my sharing. I hope that my sharing today would allow you to perceive things differently, and more importantly, encourage you to continue living, um, whatever your life circumstance right now. You may be struggling, but do not give up. Continue fighting, because you deserve to be happy and you can be happy. So, um, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll perhaps share on another NHR series another day. But for today, thanks for watching and take care. I'll see you around. Bye.